First thing I've done for this card technique, I've just taken an A4 black card like this, folded it in half, and that's the basis. Next, I've printed out one of the frame designs, and I'm going to use this as a template. And that I'm going to cut the centre out here, and that'll be able to go on there, and I'll be able to draw around it so I get the exact size of the picture frame where I'll have the stained glass coming through. There, now you can see I have my template to create the size of the frame. So basically you will open up the front of your card. This is the front. Now make it easy for yourself, just turn the frame over and just hold it down, and with a pencil draw around the inside there, then cut it out and you've got the right size aperture. So there's my aperture card now, as you can see there, and that picture frame, that window effect will fit over there perfectly on the outside. Now all I have to do is decorate that up using my printed out designs. Now I've printed all the designs onto acetate like that. Now the frames are just a standard frame and all the different designs are different sizes, but you can make them fit precisely. So all you have to do is take your frame, whether you've printed one onto acetate in black or you've got one of the gold ones, and then just lay this over the top. Now I want this to go in the middle there like that. So just line it up. You can see how it's a little bit bigger either side. It fits top to bottom perfectly, but I just need to trim it. So I'm just going to line that up, and then if you just take a pen and just mark where the center is there, then you can just trim it so it fits precisely. Now I've trimmed this up perfectly, so when you've got your frame, that will stick over the top like that and frame it. So I'm going to stick that down just using my double-sided pen on the opposite side, and then I'm going to do some nice stained glass using the background papers onto acetate around the edge. And you can see that any glue that's spilled over to where the design is, you can virtually not see it. And now I've taken some of the background paper, but I've printed this onto the inkjet printable acetate, and I'm going to use this on my stained glass window effect to create a nice border all the way around. Now I've put my acetate onto this cutting board here, and I'm going to make some strips here that are going to go down the outside. So because it's acetate you can see perfectly. Now I'm going to try and cut a line. You can use your grid underneath to help you get it right. And I'm just going to cut a strip out that's wide enough, but I want that flower pot to be the centre. So I'm just going to trim the edge off first, and then just cut some strips out I can use. Do the two horizontal ones first, and then the vertical ones, and then we can do the horizontal ones after. So I'm just putting that over the top to give me a guide. So if that starts there, doesn't matter if it goes over a bit this side, because that'll give you something a little bit more to stick down. So there's my first strip there, and then make up another strip for the opposite side. So now you can see I've cut a strip that's going to go along there, down that side. I'm just going to trim it so it fits behind perfectly. I've got one to go down that bit there, and you can see the design is going the same way. And then I've cut one long strip, but vertical this time, so that's going to, half of it's going to go along there, and half of it's going to go along there, so you've got the design going in the right direction. So I've lined up all the strips now, and I've cut them to size, and all I have to do now is stick those behind the back using my glue pen again. And again, it doesn't really matter if it goes over where the clear section is, because when it's stuck down it will disappear. Trust me, I have a face that can be trusted. You just need to let that dry, go clear, and that'll stick down perfectly. Make sure you get the right one in the right place, won't you? After doing all that trouble of going to make it look really good. There you go, that one goes down there. Don't forget these films have got a rough and a rough side and a smooth side. I'm sticking the smooth side down so the design is the right way around. So that's the top and the bottom. All I've got to do is stick down the sides now. Now you can see all the sides are stuck down there, so when you turn it over you've got that fantastic stained glass effect on the opposite side. Now you could have covered in these sections here, top and bottom, but what I'm going to do there, you could have actually taken maybe another background paper, but I'm going to use some peel-off pens and just colour that in, maybe in red or a mixture of red and yellow and orange, just to give it that kind of stained glass effect. And what I'm going to do to try and give it that bullseye effect, I've got some of the peel-off pens here, and first of all I'm just going to take some of the orange and just do a very simple circle in the middle like that in the orange. And then I'm going to take the red and I'm just going to carry on going around in a circle like that. This is on the back and it should create a kind of a bullseye effect. Just keep the pen going in the same direction so you get that swirling effect if you do see the pen lines, and just do that and then just perhaps a little swirl around, and then when you turn it over that'll dry pretty quickly. When you turn it over you've got that kind of bullseye effect just using your pen, and that'll look really good in the corner of each of these stained glass effect designs. So I've done all 4 corners now of that stained glass window effect, and if I turn it over you can see how fantastic that looks. You've got that lovely kind of solid bullseye effect there on the front of the window there in each corner. But you could use glass paint, you can use whatever you like. So there's my gold foiled window now. Now I could just put a piece of thread on that or a little chain, or I could just stick that on a window if I wanted to. But don't forget, it's only printed and this is only peel-off pens. It's not glass paint, so it's not going to last very long. But if you just want a temporary design or change it all the time, you can do that. But I'm just going to stick this now on the front of my card. That doesn't look very good, does it? With a black background. Well, there's an easy way to solve that. But before I do solve that problem by putting an insert in, I just want you to see how fantastic it looks with that lovely black background there. I mean, that looks really, really stunning, jewel-like. So you can add anything to it. You can add your glitters to it or anything you want. But I'm just going to put a insert in it. So I've got a nice white background. And if I print that onto some nice pearl, that'd look fantastic. So now you can see the design perfectly through the card, because on the inside I've printed out an insert, so the back of the card there, and I've done it on this beautiful pearlescent as well, so that when you print it out it gives it that wonderful kind of pearlescent sheen to it too. So there's the card finished, and I think it looks fantastic just like that. But I've also cut out the decoupage sections too, and then just using a little bit of silicone glue, nice clear glue. Don't forget, we have fantastic sets of glue, and just put it in strategic places. There's some little jewels there, so I'm just going to put the glue where those are, and then that can gently stick down over the top. And it doesn't matter if it overlaps the front, because this is going on the front here, and then just drop it down and then just jiggle it around slightly so it's precisely over the top, and then you can start adding all your other bits and pieces as well to build up the design. So there's all the layers on the card now. All I have to do is let the silicone dry, and then you've got one fantastic 3D stained glass window effect card.